Well, darting is a way of making incisions and folding the clay to create more dynamic forms. You want to break the any form, any shape that is like looks like it's not wheel thrown. I brought a few pieces in to like, give you an example. So this is one of my pictures I made. I'm going to do something a little more simple than this, but this has 1, 2, 3, 4 cuts and folds. So it's a little more time consuming to do this type of technique, but I enjoy it because I'm able to like be a little more meticulous and be with the clay a bit longer instead of more production style, like just a regular cup or a bowl. Just pass this around. I'll pass this around too. This one's more simple. It's just one incision fold right there. That might help. So I usually stick to like a simple form like this or something more hourglass shape, and then it's modified from there. So I'm just going to do 3 darts on this one. So show you what that looks like. So I'm going to make a line. This as a marker. So it gives you a guide. And I'm going to cut it's like a diamond shape. I usually do, it's easy to take too much, so I usually start off with a little bit and take more off later. So it's just to give you a visual. I'm just going to overextend myself, but I'm going to be coming at a 45-degree angle and cut and cut. So you're able to miter the walls together, and it creates more of a better bond. If you cut straight ahead, it's easy for the walls to split apart during the firing. Thank you. Let's take this part off. Are most of y'all ceramicists? Or is interested in clay? So I throw this without a bottom so I can squish it and alter it. So I'm going to come from the sides here and push and bring it together. Always at an angle, so like an arrow. I'm going to see if the dart's significant enough. I feel like it's a little bit too small for a handle, so I'm going to make that actually a little bit larger. Extend that down a bit more. And I'm going to take more off. Again, it's just easier to take a little bit off at a time rather than take a lot. That's a lot better. It's more significant. So the next start I'm going to do is going to be up here. It's going to be more of a triangular cut. Thank you.
Seems like they always show sort of point.
Yeah. Point?
Sort of a point where the ends of the yard are.
Oh, yeah.
Kind of a pointing point.
I see.
That's where you would take it.
Yeah. So yeah, let's use them. Take out that triangle. Bring that together. I like to like put a coil in the inside too later on and smooth it in with a brush. But right now, just doing this. Yeah, for these guys, I like to wait at least an hour after I throw them, so it stiffens up a bit more because I'm gonna dart the bottom right here, and sometimes it may collapse if it's still too wet. It's just a B mix. This isn't the clay I usually use. I use porcelain stoneware for soda firing. Can't remember if I wired this or not. And I was gonna squish this. More. Oh, I gotta put the spout in. So you can put the spout in like immediately after you throw it, but like pinch right here. Get a wet thumb. Like this is just a faster way to make a spout. Like this was a slab spout I attached and modeled. That in. My last start's gonna be down here. See what that looks like. Take that out. So any questions so far? Yeah. So I personally like this. Again, it's like it breaks the circle. Looks like it's not thrown on the wheel. It creates more dynamic forms. I know I come from more of a figurative sculptural background, but switching the pots made more sense to me because I'm very interested in interaction with my work. And I think I still somewhat call myself a figurative sculptor because I'm still referencing the figures. Has anyone heard of bilateral symmetry? So like humans, like if you got a human this way, we're not symmetrical, but this way we are. So our front to back isn't symmetrical, left to right is. I feel like forms like this usually reference the figure in that regard. It's kind of like I kind of like that. It gives it a sense of movement, but also like it does reference the figure. And I don't know. It's really satisfies that sculptural need to a certain extent I have because I like spending time with each piece. Like there's sometimes like okay, I need to make work to sell, so I'll just crank out some bowls and cups that are very mindless, like very habitual. But this stuff, it satisfies that need for being more meticulous with the work. So normally you want to wait at certain intervals, but you gotta like speed this up. So I would normally wait maybe the next for it to stiffen up more, so it's not so squishable to attach the bottom. But I'll just do that now. Uh, so pre-made a little slab. Put this on. So I can make the bottom an oval. Yeah. So again, like breaking. It's all about like breaking that circle. Oh, it's really leaning. Maybe I just need to change the slab. It feels like it's leaning forward. It's not. Maybe not be a perfect slab. No, it still feels like it's kind of leaning forward. That can be changed later. Let's see here. This will work. So I'm gonna cut a little bit off the bottom. Probably leave like 1/4 of an inch around the perimeter. Again, normally I would let this set up and then come back in and maybe put a coil in here too. I don't know. Some people do darting differently. Every time I've done it, I've without putting a coil in, or you can sometimes score the dart in before it's folding it together. I've noticed sometimes like these might open up, like it would just open up during the firing, and sometimes like that's just is a pain in the butt. So I like adding extra layers of insurance to make sure that doesn't happen. Using a scoring tool. Be extra careful. And this thing is really soft. No, it's just what I left on the bottom. Yeah, just for stability. I'll shear form that off later. Yeah. Put that on. Let's fold it up. It's still wet, so it should adhere. Sometimes I would put water on this. I forgot to put water on this slab before attaching it, but I think it should be fine. It's still wet enough that it shouldn't be that big of an issue, especially with gravity pushing it down. My professor from grad school likes using these tools to really integrate that clay. And where's that paintbrush? I just use a paintbrush to compress and blend in those darted seams and the pot. And it's a slab on the bottom too. Just clean that up. Let's see here, that's it for that. Is there any questions about this process so far? Let's see what time it is. Oh, that was only 10 minutes. Am I going too fast? No. So I'll show you how to make my handles. It out. Really like a carrot shape. Water. Just pulling straight down. So I try to make where you're gonna wrap your hands under a little bit thinner than on the top. Bend it slightly to get that form. So again, normally I would attach the handle later, let this stiffen up, same with the slab, but we can just add it on now. Generally know where I want to attach it, so I'm just going to score it. So I usually like to let my handle sit up for an hour, just until like you can't see your fingerprints on it. That way it's still bendable, but you're less likely to mangle it, and it's not too stiff, so it's less likely to break when you move it. I generally like to put the handle behind the pot so I can see where I want to attach it and cut. Right about there. Take a tool and mark. Let's follow the silhouette of the pot. Really helps. How that looks. Is that right? So again, you're putting, I think you probably learn about handles. Like when you're putting handles on, you want to make sure your attachments are rounded, especially right on your handles, just because you want to put a round connection on a round object rather than something flat on something round. That out. Score. And I just generally just use water. It's still wet enough that I don't think slip is necessary. Smooth that in. Where are y'all traveling from? I see some familiar faces, but some people I don't really know too well. What? Oh.
Where are you from?
I'm from Shawnee. Yeah, I grew up there. I've been away for 4 years. Did my first artisan residence up at Northern Clay Center in Minnesota, and then 3 years of grad school in Ohio. Yeah, so I'm back in the area. So it's good to be back. But Lawrence is very different than what I'm used to, but it's good. It's still the people here are friendly. The food is better. So there's a good clay community here. Like Rockers is here. It's pretty amazing. Not everywhere has something like this.
What type of fire?
I'm doing mostly soda right now. I'll be doing one probably next week over at KU. One of the grad students there is a soda fire, so I'm able to fire with him. So I'm going to add some coils right here and here to really blend in that silhouette, that negative space. Yeah, I was used to be a figurative sculptor before I ever did pots, and I switched my senior year at undergrad. I just felt I don't know. I wanted to talk about mental health at the time, but the work I made was really depressing. I was a junior, so it didn't make sense to me So like pots were a way for me to like talk about connection and be more involved with people rather than just something to look at and talk about. Sometimes I feel like art about issues or political issues or commentaries is, I don't know, it's maybe too much talking for me. And, it's like, what are the action steps to take? I just felt like pots were a way to like really connecting with people, and that felt more immediate to me uh, than just something to look at. Yeah, it's everyone was telling me like, "What are you doing? You're a great sculptor. Why are you making pots?" And I just felt it was the right decision, and also like I'm a graduate of the Kansas State Art Institute, and just having access to faculty and my cohort like for support, like their knowledge. Like if I wanted to switch the pots later, I wouldn't have that type of support or people to talk to. So I felt like I might as well do it, even though like looking back, like it was a little bit crazy to do it my senior year. Like it's just so much to like so many learning curves uh, to get over by the time you like you only have months before the thesis show. So yeah. Let's see here. So these are. Has anyone ever used serrated ribs for taking material off before? Serrated ribs. So I like these tools a lot. They come in different a number of teeth. Like this is probably the coarsest. I at this point I would wait until the next day or until it stiffens up to continue working on it. It's still like too wet and it doesn't have enough resistance. I have a pot drying back there. I want to see if it's ready. But you can generally like refine like shapes uh, and the form with these tools. But right now, I'm just gotta wait. Like especially for this one, it's way too wet. What? Yeah, please. So my professor from grad school always uses like cheese and dairy as metaphors. Uh, so right now, this is like I don't know what to describe this like cream cheese or something like right now. You just want to let it stiffen up to more of a hard cheddar or Parmesan cheese consistency before continuing altering this. It's just way too wet. Right now, you could easily mangle it or take off too much material, and then it will just collapse. It doesn't have the stiffness or structure yet. So I'm done with this. Ryan's checking on the piece I made earlier and see if it's stiff enough for to do alterations. So I don't know. It's kind of like I don't know. This feels very sculptural right now in the sense of like making, and it's very crude right now, and then you clean it up later through refinement. That was that. Oh, that's great. Thank you. Bottom's still a little bit wet. I'm gonna torch this. Thank you. Yeah, it's still pretty wet down here. Should be good enough. Put this one to the side.
I really like that. The heavy handle.
No, thank you.
I might have thought make it thinner, but it looks so balanced with that.
It's a weird. I don't know. It's a weird balancing act between function and aesthetics. I don't know. It's like it's always been like this play. I don't know. Sometimes I like pots that really like push those boundaries between functionality and sculptural. Like some of my favorite. I don't know. Some pots I own are like very not practical, but I really like the way they challenge your belief of what function is. Like for example, one of my friends and one of my favorite potters, Ben Eberly. His work is I don't know. His rims are really thin, and his feet are very tiny. So like the rim could chip, the foot how it could get easily knocked over because his sense of balance is very narrow, and I think visually it works, and it really like makes me more mindful of like where my hand's going, because I don't want to swipe this thing off by accident or tap it and it could knock over. I don't know. It's a different conversation. I don't know. It's like I don't know. I like pots that really do that. That really teeter that line. Let's see, how's that feeling? Still a little bit on the wetter side. This part up here is better. See how it show you. So because it's like, again, it's an oval now, it's not a circle, you can't just trim it on the wheel, so you gotta use a shear form. And because of how narrow it is, you can't put your hands in there to feel the thickness, so you really have to be reliant on turning it side to side to feel the weight and how much you're taking off. So right now it feels bottom heavy, most of the weight's down here. Actually, I'm gonna pass this around so you can feel this. I might torch it a little bit more, it still feels a little bit too soft. But I love these serrated ribs. I believe you can probably get. You guys sell these, right? Yeah. Yeah, I think. Yeah, they're great for shaping, like using ribs to shape a bowl. These guys are great for shaping in general, just for to help you really get certain, help you with shaping your form later on. So that's what I've used for all these 3 points. What? Soda. Yeah, this is wood soda. I had to refire this because there's ash inside and it didn't melt properly, so I had to refire it so it would properly melt. Ryan, has there been an announcement about the firing extravaganza on the 15th? Yeah, the KU we're firing off for the Onagama class. We're firing off their biggest wood kiln, and along with multiple other kilns next month. So Ryan's grabbing some information about that. Thank you. I'm going to torch this a little bit more. It still feels a little bit too soft. That's feeling better. So generally, it's like take off most of the mass. You just use one of these. They sell them here. You can buy the cheaper ones from a hardware store, shear formers that are used in drywall. But these rust made the rust less likely to rust. I don't know how they do it, but I much prefer these over the ones bought at Home Depot. So again, it's like almost like a cheese grater. You're just trying to like get that mass off, and this does it really fast. And then I'll go in with these serrated ribs for better refinement. crumbles off. Still a little bit wet on the bottom. If your tool is clogging up like this, it's still way too wet. I'm going to try to avoid this area for a little bit and just work up here where it's more stiffer. Go upside down. It's getting lighter. I'm going to try using, where's that other one at? Here it is. This one is less aggressive than the shear form, this straight rib, but I think I want a little more, less aggressive, just be a little more delicate. Yeah, if you ever have a pot that has like really like peaks and valleys, especially like a flat tray, and your slab isn't very flat, you just go over with these straight ribs and really get rid of those too. When I discovered these, like it really changed my life. It just made things less frustrating. I feel like I've taken enough, just like, again, holding this side to side. I can tell over here, like, the weight's good here. Still a bit bottom heavy. I'll address that a little bit later, but right now I'm going to be refining. And it's still wet enough that you can even like reshape this form if you wanted to by pushing with this tool. So I'm pushing this corner in, using this curve to help with that transition. You see I'm pushing that in. I'm still altering the form. Usually I'll make one of these over the course of like 3 days, but just like throwing, let it stiffen up, altering it, let it stiffen up, and all that. It's just there's so many stages to this process. The first one is right here. Second's right here. Third one's down here. So this one was the only one that looked like an eye shape. The other two were triangles. Again, you want to cut at a 45 degree, not straight. So you don't want the walls to open back up. So this helps it, gives it more surface area. So it's properly attached. Yeah, a few of you all I recognize from the Arts Center. Have you all looked at Deb Schwarzkopf's book we have in the studio? Deb Schwarzkopf. Her book is in the studio. You should look up her work. I think part of the way she works with slabs and darting is like really phenomenal. Like she runs a studio out of I think she runs 2 studios in Seattle, Washington. So she's very successful. Like I don't know how to describe it. Like she's I don't know. She's a phenomenal teacher. That's what I've seen of her work and how she talks. She's just really great. Yeah, she was a visiting artist at Ohio University for a year, way before my time. But I've heard great stories about her from alumni who are older. Yeah, still way too wet down here. I'm gonna pass this around. What? Yes, her book's in the studio, so you all want to check it out. Yeah, it's still a lot of weight on the bottom. I'm gonna torch this a little bit more, but I just want to pass that around again.
Did you wait till it's like even harder before you put it in?
Yeah, generally, I'm really rushing it because it's a time constraint. It was a little bit too early to shear form it. Yeah, but yeah, I usually smooth out with just the metal rib over here. Yeah, again, you can get all these tools here. I like this one particularly, like the brand mud tool. Like I bought some off-brand ones that the metal is stiffer. This has more flex to it, so I can really like wrap around the form. So I'm just gonna torch this. So don't want to catch the dry wall on fire. So you don't ever want to torch on a plastic bat because it'll melt. So it's better to do it on a wooden bat and just get it wet. Smoking. Still a bit wet. It's a little bit better. Let's see how that looks. Still, see how that. I've used this. Still, shear form is just, it's still a little bit wet on the bottom and it's like really pushing it with the shear form. So I think these ribs just work better with not really mangling the form if it's still too wet. How many of these demos have you all been to? 0? What's your first one? Your second one? First? Are there any more next? Is there another one next month? Yeah. Are you? Do you finally do it? Got transition.
All good. It's all
No, then. So again, one of the priorities of mine is like really working on this space here. And refining that with the serrated ribs. This negative space right here, just making sure like it looks like very fluid. It's a little clunky. Okay, that's a lot better. Please. What time is it? 5 to 15 minutes. You know, I should be able to finish this up. So you can see how it's really coming out and it's not clumping up too much. So it's probably the right consistency.
I guess you found that this is better than flowing thin, flowing quite thin.
Yeah.
And not having to take this off, but still thinner would be more precarious.
I don't know about that per se. I always just leave a little bit bottom, just in general, because I always feel like every time I overdo it, it collapses. So I think it's just also it's developing your confidence with throwing thinner too. Some clays just don't like being thrown thin. I feel that way about like the clay I've been using. It just wants to collapse every time and twist. I think it might be just the recipe. But I don't know. Every time I've seen someone dart, they're always like, you gotta trim it or something like that to a certain extent. So you always gotta leave a little bit on the bottom for structural purposes. Do you feel like you always like throw it thin and you don't have to be able to do that, or do you feel like you're able to throw it thin and not have to do too much trimming, like your bases or anything like that, or? Oh, do you feel like you don't have to do too much when are you able to like throw like that thin and not do so much trimming?
Yeah, I guess my goal is to make it as light as I can.
Yeah.
So I start thin. But I haven't made this.
I hear you. I think it's just I think when I think about it, this type of dart here, when I first did this, like immediately after I threw it, it always collapses. So that's why I always like wait an hour. My professor always told me to wait like 10 minutes, but I think for smaller forms, it makes more sense to wait 10 minutes so it stiffens up and you don't, uh, it doesn't have too much give. It gives some resistance. But I feel that 10 minutes isn't long enough for me because it always just collapses.
The shape should improve. It's, since you're going to be doing that, it's slim down and become more attractive.
Yeah. No, that's what I mean. It's very sculptural. Still, this process. I don't know. I find it very meditative too. Like, sometimes when I'm just throwing just regular cups or bowls, it gets a little bit, I don't know, bored with it. But then I can switch to this, and if I get bored with this, I'll just go back to the other thing. Funny. Wait there. Still feeling extra weight elsewhere. Bit of a messy process too. All right, I think. Let's see here. I think I need to work on this bottom a little bit more. I feel like with pictures, you got to try to get them as light as possible, but you don't want to overdo it too much because you could accidentally bust through the walls. Like a vase, you can probably leave it heavy, but when you're putting water into this and you're gonna pour it, it's important to try to get as light as you can. It's also, this is pretty inaccurate, like what I'm feeling right now, because there's still a lot of water weight. If I were to let this stiffen up more, it would be a lot lighter because the water would have been evaporated from this more. Okay. I'm going to try to clean this up a bit. So just using these steroid ribs has helped smooth things out a lot faster. So from all those marks from the shear form.
She already has enough friends.
It's a little bit on the wet side to do this, but I'm just going to do this now.
Where? It's back there. I know it. Where?
Thank you.
ready to put eyes on that. Oh.
Let's see here. Still a little bit.
I love the way the handle grows the piece. It's not attached.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I think there's like different ways of going about it. I usually like these softer forms more, but sometimes as a creative, it's good to like challenge your beliefs of what you like. So this was like one of those like challenges, like try out more angular forms instead of more of the softer forms. So like really try working with these hard edges. Even like again, the handles are similar, but they're very different in the way they're attached. So either growing from the form or a separate element. Let's see here. Did y'all hear that back there? I just realized, like, did y'all hear that? No. Well, you can have like your handles look like they're coming from the form, or look like a separate element. Yeah, it's like depends on that what you're going for aesthetically. Yeah, I would then go over this. If this was stiffer, I would go over this with a sponge. Really get to smooth that out more, but. Okay, I think that's good enough. I'm gonna pass this around. One more time. 2 minutes? All right, then that's a good stopping point.
So, do you do any more finishing up when it's bone dry, or is it all leather hard and below?
I might go over with a sponge more and just really erode any like marks like that. I feel like will probably like show up more in the soda firing, like to really smooth it out. That's about it. Do you do anything bone dry or
Sig.
the sig? Yeah, I guess I would spray a flashing slip on at bone dry too, just like this to get more of this, like the yellows and all that. So the titanium based flashing slip.
Do you want to explain to them like
Yeah.
what flashing slip is and what you use it for?
Flashing slip is is a type of slip that creates these that you can put on your clay to create these dramatic effects. So what flashing is a mark that's created when there's like a resist happening in a soda kiln. So imagine this pot was right here, and as the flame and soda is coming in, soda collects in areas that are more exposed and less so in areas that are sheltered. So this part here got less soda, so it created a flash. So some clays can flash naturally by themselves without a flashing slip. Some need a flashing slip, else it'll just look homogeneous and nothing's really happening with the surface. So I like flashing slips because it really creates like dramatic effects, but also I like textural variation too in the work. Like this has some roughness to it. This is pretty smooth, so it really like is activating your sense of touch. It's not like a glassy case over the pod. I think that's something like people are mostly used to when it comes to like commercial made pots, but I think I like more of that variation of surface, like visually and tactically, because it's like really being with the piece and instead of something that is like in the background. No, you can spray it on. You can dip it. I like to spray it because it can be finicky if you dip it, and if it's on too thick, it'll flake off. So I like to do it when it's like bone dry. Sometimes you can put it on leather hard. You can put it on bisque, but bisque is just trickier if you want to glaze. If like you spill glaze on a spot that you didn't want, then so it's a little bit tricky. You can just might like use an X-Acto knife and scrape off that glaze. And just to me, it's more work, more hassle. But that's essentially what a flashing slip is. But yeah, it's. Has anyone done soda or wood firing before? Wood firing? Yeah, it's similar. Similar process. Like when you're using raw clay, you're creating opportunities to show the flame marks on the pod, and also build up ash. Yeah. Any questions? Yes.
Normally, how long would it take you to make a jug like this from end to end?
3 days. I like to letting things set up. I don't know. It's like you can. This is this one artist named Boomer Moore. He makes like really interesting pots. Like very. He's very proficient with the torch. Like torches it. I'm like, I don't like working that way because I don't want to rush things, and I'm always scared of things cracking. So I don't usually torch my work unless it's like very lightly to stiffen it up or just slightly. But for this, I usually 3 days. Like throw it, alter it, let it stiffen up, put on the slab on the bottom, put on the handle, do some refinements here because this is stiffened up, so I can like really go in with I can like push in more with like a regular rib to get the connection points looking better. And then the next day you'll stiffen up more, go in with the cheese grater and all that, and the shear forms and the rasps. And then the next day, when it's really stiffened up, it's like very finer details. For like the spout here, like really, like this was a slab, and then I had to like really resculpt it with these serrated ribs, and then smooth it in. So it's just to make it more refined. So that's not the finest one. This is the finest one. So it's like come in here to really smooth that out. Because using these ribs, like it creates peaks and valleys and inconsistencies. So I don't really care for. I thought this is how people did it, but when my professor showed me these, like it really made me understand why and how people made spouts like these. Let's pass these around. So yeah, I believe all these in stock?
Yeah, we have them over there with the mud tools. I can show anybody who's interested in them.
Yeah, so these are the tools I prefer for like this type of work. So
I've gone through many of them. They're great.
they're great. It's like they're life changers. Like I don't know. It's like the work's less of a headache now. You know, so I'll just pass these around if people are interested.
When you make a picture like this, do you make one? Or do you make 6 at a time?
I would say 4 to 6 at a time. Usually 4 to 5. Like these are easier and faster to make because the spout's just that. Like again, this would add an extra few hours. You know, it's like slap it on, but it's just it's just more refining to do.
Any other questions for Jason?
I forgot to introduce myself.
Oh,
Ah.
that's okay.
Yeah.
Well, this will be all on YouTube, all the title.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.